Hello and welcome to Asian Pulse. I'm your host, Kritisha Nandan. I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. This pandemic is far from over. There continues to be no effective treatment, and the virus will continue in our communities for many months to come. Safety continues to be everyone's priority. We're asking all of you to stay home if you're sick, practice good hygiene by washing your hands often, avoid touching your face, cough or sneeze into your elbow or a tissue. Maintain a distance of at least 2 meters from others and wear a mask when out in public, especially in public transports or shops. Today's guest is Surrey City Councillor Jack Singh Handal, a well-known name in the city of Surrey and in the community. Mr. Handal is committed to working on issues and challenges that Surrey continues to face today. Here is Councillor Jack Handal.
In our studios, it's my pleasure to introduce to you Councillor Jack Handal. Jack Handal is a councillor for the city of Surrey. And before he became a councillor, he used to be working with the RCMP in Surrey. So I would let him introduce himself. So welcome, first of all. Thank you so much for taking your time and coming and talking to our viewers.
Thank you very much for having me here today. Like you said, I was a staff sergeant with the RCMP and retired after a 25-year service.
And this is your first term as a city councillor?
Yes, first term.
Yeah.
First term as a city councillor. So I was elected in the last municipal election. I started off as an independent, then I was asked by, that time, candidate McCallum to come join his team, which we did. And but now, since that time to now, myself and Councillor Locke have broken off into our own party called Surrey Connect.
Okay. So you have been an RCMP officer and you must have started, right, from the bottom, like a beat cops and all that. And you said you have been with the RCMP for 25 years and become a sergeant. You know, go up the ladder. How is it, what would you say the role of the RCMP? And RCMP is everywhere in our country. And in Surrey, you will hear that, or you know that, that we want to change the RCMP into the municipal policing.
Yes.
So just give a background of how your experience had been as an RCMP officer.
So my experience was really really good. I mean, I was really blessed to be able to do 25 years. Most of my service, actually all my service, was here in British Columbia. So I got a chance to work up north in the Lower Mainland. I started my service and I actually ended it here in Surrey. Okay. And I worked just over, I think, 14 years here in Surrey in total. But, you know, the RCMP, it's a national icon. Yeah. And it's established right across the world. Most embassies have a liaison officer with an RCMP officer in there. It is regarded as probably in the top 2 or 3 policing organizations in the world. Constantly we're doing training. I look at a place like Surrey Detachment, where we actually have people that come from international, you know, other countries, come and look at best practices that they're doing here in Surrey. So, you know, I think it's a good organization. Certainly it's got challenges, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's been around for over 100 years, and it does have its problems when it comes to HR, people's behavior. I think, but policing, as we see right around the world right now, is undergoing a change, especially in the last 6 months. Policing around the world is changing. You got people talking about defunding the police. You got people talking about, you know, even getting rid of the police in some communities. So I think it's a very interesting time to be a police officer anywhere.
So what's your thought on that? Because now they are talking about defunding, and with the Black Lives Matters, then they don't have no trust in the police force. But at the same time, there is a bad apple in anything you do. You may be working for BC Hydro or Talos or any big organization. There is some people that you're not going to be happy with, and then some people don't have that ethical, you know, to how to, for PR and human resources and things like that. But it doesn't mean to say that just because of 1 or 2 bad apples, you're going to label everybody the same and take the funding away. And I totally believe that we should have a mental health worker be able to accompany police officers when they go there. Because mental health workers do not carry guns, and for the safety of them and for themselves, it's very, very important that I think we need to keep in mind that there could be an additional to what services we have right now. But
Yeah.
don't say, take the funding away and give it to the mental health.
Yeah. So when I first started policing, I mean, you never had really a lot of broad-based training, I think, or education around mental health. And certainly society has changed over the last, what I've seen in policing, the last 25, 30 years.
Yes.
You know, Surrey RCMP was one of the first to actually have nurses and mental health workers, in fact, even healthcare workers in our jail cells. So in a lot of ways, you know, Surrey's moved quite ahead than other organizations. But certainly, you know what, the role of policing also has changed too when it comes to mental health now, because you're right, a lot of times when things go sideways,
Yeah.
people call the police.
Yeah.
The police is it's a very blunt tool to use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And police officers, by virtue of their profession, are there to keep the peace. And sometimes that means that everything else has failed. Negotiations probably failed. You know, there's been a failure maybe somewhere in a relationship with someone. Maybe it's health, maybe it's medication not being followed. So, I mean, the police will go and they'll have to deal with it. And unfortunately, with the police, it's a service that's used 24/7. So you don't have the time to be there for 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes you have to deal with something really quickly and effectively, maybe even to get control of that person and situation. And for the person looking from the outside looking in, it'll seem like, well, this is very heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not to say that, you know, those tools are always the most, they're not the prettiest things to look at, put it that way.
Yeah.
And when you do take someone in custody and you have to take them to the hospital, you know, and we know the wait times at the hospital, sometimes it's quite challenging. So you're there with someone who's really having a health episode, because it is health related.
Yeah.
Health episode for hours and hours until, you know, they're able to either medicate the person, get the person into compliance of some kind. So, and you see that more and more, I think, in our society. And earlier we were talking about even the impact of COVID
Yeah.
that COVID's having now.
Yeah.
You know, we have people that have been in isolation. Life's changed for everyone
Yeah.
as a result of COVID.
Yeah.
So that impact is actually really, I think, highlighted the need to better address mental health crises when they happen.
I work as a frontline, and I work with women when they flee domestic violence. I haven't had not even one woman that came to me and said to me that she had bad experience. When 911 is called, it comes to, they are right there supporting the family, children and all that, has to go to the hospital, sit there, examination done, finding shelters and all that. It's done by just one person. It doesn't matter, you know, what time of the day they go overtime, but they make sure that person is safe before they go home or their shift is over. So I think they do a good job, but yeah, maybe it's about time that we can make, or they can see making some changes. But I think it's going to be very unfair to say defund them and, you know, I mean, substitute that with mental health. Yeah, mental health is definitely needed, and especially like when you say time like now, well, half of the country has some kind of distress or anxiety or depression, right? So, I mean, how many times it's a very tough time we are going through. So talk a little bit about the situation at the City Hall. There are a lot of issues going on because
The stress there?
I have been following the news, and
Yeah.
I think recently they have their first meeting with the directors, or board of directors, what you want to call that. And I think at the pandemic, a time like this, I think their focus hasn't changed. Our focus is just one focus, and that is when are they going to get this Surrey Police Department and get rid of RCMP. It's not as simple as you and me can think about it. Nobody can think about it. And not only that, I want you also to highlight what kind of consultation is being done with the community. Because I don't live in Surrey, but I work in Surrey. I do all my business in Surrey. I talk to a lot of people in Surrey. Nobody's aware of this.
So this was, the consultation has been very lacking to begin with, right? When Surrey switched over to the RCMP in 1951, it was done at a plebiscite. So during, the citizens had a chance to vote, looking at what the reason was and how they're going to do it. And back then, the reason why they changed to the RCMP was cost and recruiting.
Yeah.
And those are going to be the same challenges now
Yeah.
that the public's facing in 2020, is by switching from the RCMP to your own municipal police force, is why are we doing it? What's going to be different? Because it's going to be the same criminal code,
Yeah.
the same justice system, the same schooling system. So the same individuals getting picked up by one uniform today are going
Yeah.
to be the same ones picked up by another uniform, but except taxpayers are going to pay more for it,
Right.
right? So you talk about having local accountability. Well, within the RCMP, there's locations across Canada where we actually do have police boards with the RCMP. So even when they set up the police board itself here in Surrey, they talk being local, but look, those positions are all appointed by the provincial government, so there's no local input into that.
Yeah.
And you have residents that don't even live in Surrey on the Surrey Police Board. So,
How would they know about what's the best for
Interest.
Surrey? Yeah.
yeah.
And
so,
not only that, I think I also hear that even Surrey is the fastest growing municipality in North America, not just in Canada. 1,000 people move here every month. But instead of putting more boots in the ground, getting more RCMP officers in here, they are even less than in Vancouver. Vancouver, the population is, I don't know what is the population. Is it 500,000 or 600,000?
Yeah, over, yeah.
And I think we have here 500,000, but people,
Over 500,000, yeah.
but people are moving every month here.
Yeah, and so you have to look at, for a growing community like Surrey, first of all, we have 840 odd RCMP positions here. We should be close to 1,200
Yes.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
I think
Okay.
VPD has 1,400.
Yeah, so Surrey should not be too far behind.
Yeah.
But then when you say you're going to roll out a new policing model, which the mayor did, he says we're going to have less police officers for more money.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense, because that gap just widens further and further.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have those same issues today compounded even further.
Yeah.
I mean, and for Surrey is a growing city, but we're growing with a lot of young families. What do young families need? They need infrastructure.
I know.
We need pools, rec facilities. We need businesses that thrive on helping our youth. At the same time, we have a segment of our population which is a little bit older, so their needs are going to be different,
Yeah.
right? When I look at Surrey and I look at, we speak over 103 languages here in Surrey. But when we look at, what services do we have for post-secondary education for our youth? Well, we have, a couple of satellite universities here, but, maybe it's time to bring in or ask a place like BCIT, like, why don't you come here and set up your new campus here,
Yeah.
right? I mean, if the future of Surrey is here,
Yeah.
then, let's start investing in Surrey,
Yeah.
investing in that next generation,
Yeah.
bring in those, those skills for our youth to have those higher paying jobs. So when I look at Surrey, I see, we're building out the first modern city of the 21st century.
Yes.
We have 2 international border crossings, right? We have a port.
Yeah.
We're blessed with some really fertile land here. So, what are we doing to take the opportunities of all that and put it together? If our single focus in 4 years is to try to set up a police department, which probably won't even happen in another, less than 800 days,
Okay.
right? This will be the ballot question
Yeah.
for the next election.
And that's what I was going to be. Would this ever going to go to the referendum? Would the people of Surrey will have a choice to vote whether they want RCMP or they want a Surrey Police Department?
Well,
and also, I think we have just one taxpayer too. Are we very clear, or you as a councillor or the mayor, are they very clear with bringing this, getting rid of RCMP and bringing the new police, what the cost gonna be? Because people are losing has lost jobs. And instead of building rec centers, swimming pools, when people have been locked down since March, the kids, the students, don't you think they should be saved first to have a place that they can go and be outside, at least with the third opening or whatever?
Yeah.
Or what is more important? I mean, it's taxpayer dollar. It's not like you are creating your own money. That money is, so are we ever going to ask them to vote on that, what their choice?
Well, we don't even know what the cost is, Camilla. That's one of the problems is no one has yet to say, what is the actual cost of this going to be? And for the extra money, what am I getting which is going to be different than today? So I don't think people don't mind paying
Yeah.
if they know what they're paying for and the value of their dollar. Everybody works hard for their money.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody works hard for their money. And when you can't tell people, look, you know, your hard-earned tax dollars are going to be put towards this. If I said to you, you know, we're going to build out another ice arena or a new rec center here in Newton, like we should have a long time ago, people will see that, okay, I don't mind contributing to that because that builds up my community, right? But when you have, we're going to put it into a program, really, and we don't know what the cost of that is. And you're right, 2 years out from an election, people are already saying, you know, what am I doing this for? Why are we doing this for? Because we can't afford it. And now is not the time for it.
Yeah. So what else what other challenges as a councillor you face sitting on?
I think one of the biggest challenges is, and certainly with COVID, is not having that one-to-one contact with people as much anymore. I think that's been a bigger challenge because not everybody's on social media, not everybody you know, watches television. So that one-to-one contact is really important. And I hope we can get to a place again. I think that's been one of the challenges during COVID. So myself and Councillor Locke, we're actually going out into the parks now, meeting people, doing one-on-one community events. So those things are happening. So that's a little bit different. I think from the council itself, though, I think the public is well aware of the issues that go on in Surrey with the council. We have a mayor who you know, pushes things along in an agenda, thinking he only needs 5 votes, but yet the vast majority of the public are asking questions. And the thing I can encourage everyone in the city to do is keep asking those questions. And in the future, when you look to, you know, who's going to be our future leaders in the city, you know, identify those people whose goals line up with your own, I think, and get out and vote. That's one of the biggest challenges.
And I think that is the biggest problem. When the municipal election come, people don't go out and vote. They don't think as important as federal or provincial elections, so they don't go out and vote. And it's very important for people to go out and vote. Have you seen? At least you know I voted for whoever I believe that, right?
Yeah, at the municipal election, we had about 33% voter turnout.
Yes.
At provincial, it's usually anywhere from 50 to 55. And for federal, maybe a little bit higher. But here's the thing, at municipal, your taxes are all here. You're paying for your roads,
everything here,
your school, your safety, how your city works and operates, what your city's investing. So your livability is actually in your city, so it's more important to come out and vote. But when you only have 1/3 of the voter population comes out and actually votes at a municipal election, it makes a big difference.
And like you say, with COVID, people are not able to go to the city council and ask questions or be part of that big group and things like that. So it's just like everything is falling apart. It seems like people's voices have got lost, and the few people right on the top, they make the decision, and that's what seems to be going.
Yeah, and I talk to a lot of people who've migrated or immigrated here from other countries, and they go, you know, we left all those places in the world because of that. And now here we are coming to a place like Surrey, which is becoming that.
That you don't have a voice.
That your voice gets lost.
So I was going to also say that, and you said the next election is 2022, not far away, and you have a feeling that nothing will happen by then or before then, so people will have some saying. And there are a lot of signs, I say, RCMP. We want RCMP in the lawns and things like that. And I think that is good. You know, I mean, if I was an RCMP officer and I am driving and I'm working in this district, and they say, well, I would not have a job, and if I don't want to change my uniform and go with them, I will be out of work, and I don't know where I will be transferred to. So you are just sitting on the edge. You don't have any stability.
So I think one of the things that I'd really like to impart with the community is get out, get involved. You don't have to wait for election day. Go online if you can. You know, petition your elected officials, provincial and municipal, even federal. Ask them what they think about the police transition. And lastly, you know what, if you ever want to engage with myself or Councillor Locke, you can follow us on Surrey Connect, or even reach out to us on our city emails, and we'll try to facilitate a meeting with you.
Anyways, thank you so much. I look at the time. Time goes so fast.
It does.
But thank you so much for taking your time, be able to come to the studio. And I think the more education we have, people will make the right decision then. Because nobody's talking about it. So I'm glad that we have just started this conversation.
Yes, and in Canada, we police with the consent of the community.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jack Handal. Local events are a great way to bring communities closer together. We have some events that are happening in our community that you may be interested in participating, while keeping safety in mind. Sunday Students Food Bank, Guru Nanak's free kitchen in collaboration with Voice Canada, is organizing Sunday Students Food Bank starting from July 5th every Sunday. A variety of groceries and fresh produce, bakery items will be distributed at Guru Nanak Sikh Gurdwara near Seniors Center parking lot from 12:30 until 2 p.m. For more information, please contact Hardeep Singh at 779-814-7054 or Harsaib Singh at 604-781-5687. Month of August is known for National Family Fun Month, National Golf Month, and National Motorsports Awareness Month. It is also known for Children Eye Health and Safety Month. Fiji Canada Association is starting their karaoke night on every Friday from 6 p.m. until midnight. They will be following COVID-19 guidelines. First 50 people will be allowed entry. Samosa will be on sale for no food. For more information, call Sri Chandra at 604-626-5264. Breathing, meditation, chanting, mindfulness practices for wellness with meditation practitioner Garima Gaba. To register, email info@saha.org. If you're planning any events that we would like your community to be aware of, please email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. Today's song request has been made by Rajneesh Reddy. Please enjoy the song Ye Ishq Ka Hai Mausam. Thank you. That was a beautiful song. It looks like we've run out of time. We hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or requests, please email us at asianpulse@gmail.com. Before we enter today's show, I would like to share a beautiful quote by Dalai Lama. I consider human rights work or activism to be kind of spiritual practice. By defending those people who persecuted for their age, race, religion, ethnicity, or ideology, you are actually contributing to guiding our human family to peace, justice, and dignity. With that, have a wonderful week and stay safe.
तेरे बिना मैं जीऊंगा कैसे, रास्ते पे छाई है घटा, तुझसे मैं हूँ मुझ में तू है, कैसे फिर ये तय हो फासला। होश ये मेरा खोया नहीं था, आज जो पाया पाया नहीं था, खिलने लगी हर कली आज से। ये इश्क का है मौसम, ये इश्क का है मौसम, प्यार की गलियों में खो जाए कहीं हम तुम। Sparkle in your eyes, the warmth of your skin, breath on the night that changed me within, touch of your hand, the smell of your hair, charming smile, the strength in your stare। होने लगी है ये मुलाकातें, एहसास दिल को नया सा लगा, देखा तुझे तो दिल में ये जाना, जो था जुदा सा जुड़ा सा लगा। ओ मेरा यार मिला, मेरा प्यार मिला, जो मांगा मिल गया, लम्हा लम्हा खोया था कभी, पल पल वो मिल गया। आज से वो कहाँ निकल जाए, भीगे हो नया सा लगा, देखा तुझे तो दिल में ये जाना, जो था जुदा सा जुड़ा सा लगा। ओ मेरा यार मिला, मेरा प्यार मिला, जो मांगा मिल गया, लम्हा लम्हा खोया था कभी, पल पल वो मिल गया। आज से वो कानों में रस घोले, वो कानों में रस घोले, जान निकल जाए, भीगे होठों से जब बोले। झुकने लगा है आसमां ज़मीं पे, सिलसिला ये ऐसा अजब सा हुआ, महकी फिजाएं जुल्फों से तेरी, जैसे नशा सा होने लगा, बदला बदला हर रंग लगा, रंगों में खो गया, पहला पहला ये प्यार मेरा जो तूने छू लिया। आज से तुझ संग लड़े नैना, तुझ संग